Picture this. You're nearing the end of a long, grueling marathon. You've crossed countless miles through sacrifice, joy, heartbreak, and trials. Now, you're in the final stretch, where every step counts. Where one wrong move could cost you everything. And just as you're pushing forward, someone stands in your way. Maybe it's a brother, a partner, a friend, even a neighbor. No, not now. At this point in your life, the last thing you need is to bear the weight of someone else's expectations. You are not here to be someone's safety net. You are not here to sacrifice your hard-earned peace for guilt. That was never yours to carry. This life is yours, not theirs. Let's get real. There are people who will ask things of you that they never should. They take your time, your energy, even your sanity. And that's a direct assault on your happiness, and it cannot be tolerated. Ever felt like an emotional ATM? Or worse, like you're bailing water from a sinking ship while everyone else sits back and watches? That's why we're here to say the things no one else dares to. In this video, we'll reveal 5 things no one should be asking of you at this point in life, because anything that steals your peace just isn't worth it. Stick with us till the end. This might be the sign you've been waiting for, to shut doors that never should have been opened. Let's start with 1, being asked to carry a responsibility that was never yours. How many times have you agreed to something, knowing deep down it wasn't your burden? Too many, right? And worst of all, you only realize it after you're already drowning in it. It always begins the same, a small favor, a little help, just this once. But soon, you're not helping, you're holding up the entire structure. And the longer you do, the harder it is to walk away. Think about it. What happens to a rope that's already frayed when it keeps getting pulled? It snaps, and that rope is you. You were treated like a lifeline, but you're not one. You're not here to keep a sinking ship afloat, especially one that should have sailed on its own long ago. Because what's at stake isn't just your time or energy, it's your mental health, your emotional well-being, and your life. And yet, out of love, you carry it, because you want to help, because you don't want to be called selfish. But let me be clear, this isn't love. It's exploitation. You've already done your share. You've raised, worked, sacrificed, and given more than anyone could imagine. So why keep holding what was never meant for you? You're not a bank yet. They ask for money. You're not a babysitter yet. They drop off their kids like it's your duty. You're not a nurse yet. They expect endless care without ever asking, how are you holding up? And the moment you say no, you're suddenly the villain, the cold one, the selfish one. But who's judging them for putting you in that position? The truth is, people take advantage of your kindness and your sense of duty. They don't see you, they see a resource. And that cuts deep, because you give everything, and in return, you get silence. Or worse, more demands. It's like being an umbrella. Everyone runs to you when it storms. But when the sky's clear, you're forgotten. Left there, soaking wet and discarded. How many more times will you let that happen? Let me say this. This is not love. This is emotional manipulation, and it doesn't matter if it's a child, a sibling, or a lifelong friend, if they're overwhelming you with burdens that aren't yours. Draining your peace, you do not have to say yes, especially when the ask is cloaked in guilt, tears, or sweet words that twist into emotional blackmail. That's the moment to pause and ask, why am I paying the price for their choices? This isn't selfishness. This is self, and it starts with setting boundaries, because no one else will do it for you. If you keep carrying what's not yours, you'll end up burnt out, bitter, and invisible. That's a mistake you simply can't afford. You've earned your peace. You've fought long and hard for it. You deserve time for yourself, for joy, for rest, for life. Not to be the firefighter for everyone else's flames. If you feel like a prisoner of other people's responsibilities, it's time to cut the chains. Helping in hard times is noble, but carrying their entire load, That's not help. That's self-destruction. Let go of the guilt. Walk away from debts that aren't yours. Life moves fast. What you ignored today will haunt you tomorrow. Ask yourself again, why am I carrying this? And if you can't find a good reason, it's time to set it down. No one can protect your peace better than you can. Let's talk about a common trap: lending money, unless it's a real emergency. Don't even consider it. You're sipping your morning coffee, finally enjoying the calm you've worked for, and the phone rings. It's someone you care about, a child, a sibling, a friend, but they're not calling to check in. They want money. It starts with a small favor, a short-term loan, but soon it turns into a black hole that sucks away your peace. Lending money at this stage of life is like handing over your house keys and hoping they return it untouched. But how often does that happen? Once the money's gone, so is your emotional security, so is your peace. This is your time to breathe, not to go broke trying to rescue someone else. This isn't greed, it's wisdom. What seems kind today could destroy your future. Imagine you face a sudden health crisis and need those funds. What then? This isn't about turning your back on family. It's about refusing to lose everything for someone who sees your generosity as a given. Because the truth is, most money lent never comes back. And when it doesn't, you're left with empty pockets, broken trust, and a hollow silence. And then they say, "But you're my dad, my brother. You have to help." That's not love. That's emotional extortion. You're not obligated to sink just to keep someone else afloat. Heroism is not drowning quietly while others row away with your life's work. We often don't even notice how we're being used, and by the time we do, the damage is done. We're not talking about genuine emergencies. Here we're talking about endless favors disguised as love. The kind that leaves you drained while they live like nothing happened. Once your resources are gone, there's no reset button. You're not in a place to start over financially. So don't leave your door wide open and hope no one takes advantage. Protect your space, your peace, your future. And when someone only comes around when they need something, ask yourself, is this love or dependence pretending to be love? Anyone who forces you to choose between your peace and their convenience doesn't deserve either. It's painful, I know. After everything you've given, having to explain why you deserve rest. But here's the truth. If they don't value your peace, they don't deserve your presence. Learn to say enough. Don't be afraid to be different, or to say no. Peace is not a luxury. It's a right, and it must be defended. The easy thing isn't always the right thing. And right now, the right thing is protecting everything you've built. You've earned this life. Don't let anyone take it from you. Next time someone shows up with a sad story and a handout, ask, do they care about my well-being the way I care about theirs? If the answer is no, you already know what to do. This isn't coldness. It's clarity. The good enters your life when you finally let go of the bad. And sometimes, the bad is anyone who treats you like a cash machine instead of a human being. Your later years should be filled with peace. But then comes another request. Not for money this time, but for you to play referee in a family drama you didn't even start. Mom, Dad, can't you talk to your brother? Things are a mess. And without thinking, you step enthroned into a war zone, trying to fix what was already broken. And worse, sometimes the battle is over your own home. The one filled with memories. A place of love now, just a dollar sign to them. You watch them fight over what you built, and your heart breaks. You try to help, but all it does is pour fuel on the fire, and you come to a bitter truth: you can't fix everything. You can't heal wounds that aren't yours. And while you try, your health declines, your joy fades, and your peace disappears. This is your sign to stop, to finally put yourself first. You've done enough. Now it's time to choose peace. Is it really worth risking your peace for something you can't control? Because deep down, You already know the truth. You can't save others by sinking with them. Life isn't about fighting everyone's battles. It's about protecting what brings you calm, joy, and meaning. This isn't selfishness. It's self-respect. And if you choose not to get involved, you're not letting anyone down. On the contrary, you're finally choosing yourself. So the next time someone tries to drag you into a family argument, stop and remember, you are not responsible for carrying the weight of what isn't yours. Your well-being matters more than any drama. The peace you've fought so hard to create has no price tag. Think twice. If it doesn't bring you peace, walk away. Peace is priceless, and it should never be bargained away. Don't waste your energy fighting wars that were never meant for you. The truth might sting, but it will set you free. Say it clearly. I won't get involved. And that's enough. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You weren't born to be a pawn in someone else's game. Your tranquility is a luxury that must be guarded, because if you don't protect it, you'll wake up trapped in a decision you never should have made. Put yourself first. Take the reins of your life. Stop merely surviving. Start living. Never risk your peace for something outside your control. But what happens when people ask for something even more personal? What if someone, your child, your sibling, or a close friend, starts asking you to change who you are? What if they treat your habits, your style, your voice, as if they're outdated, as if your experiences no longer matter? They say things like, "Don't dress like that. You look too old. Why do you still listen to that music? Stop talking like that. It's cringy now." They're not just asking you to tweak something small. They're asking you to erase yourself, to cut away pieces of your identity, just to make them feel more comfortable. That's not change. That's self-erasure. And the question is, why should you? Why should you have to dim your light to fit into someone else's world? You've earned the right to be yourself, fully and unapologetically. Everything you love, the clothes you wear, the music you cherish, the memories that make you smile, they all hold value. You are not some outdated version that needs to be upgraded. You are someone who's lived, someone who's learned, someone who deserves to be celebrated, not corrected. When your children say, "Stop being so traditional," or "Loosen up, you're too strict," they forget one important thing. Your habits are part of your story, and no one has the right to rewrite that. Being yourself is not a sin, and if you start changing just to fit in, you may lose something that never comes back. Your essence. There is no greater loss than giving up the parts of you that make life meaningful, because once you surrender your identity for approval, it's a steep and lonely fall. So don't do it. Don't let guilt manipulate you into sacrificing your joy. This is your life, and you get to decide how it's lived. If someone asks you to let go of what brings you peace, kindly but firmly say no. Your way of living has brought you here, and that journey holds immeasurable worth. And now, let's go deeper. What happens when someone asks you to put their feelings above your own? What happens when your child, your sibling, or your friend says, "Please, don't do that. It makes me uncomfortable," as if your joy, your choices, your existence are too much for them to handle. Suddenly, it feels like your happiness doesn't matter anymore, like your needs are an inconvenience. And worst of all, you feel pressured to give in, to cancel yourself, just so they can feel better. But let's be clear, your life is not a stage for others to dictate. Your peace should not be negotiated, because every time you give in to demands that erase you, you chip away at your joy, your light, your identity. And for what? So someone else can feel more comfortable while you silently suffer. No, that's not love. That's emotional blackmail. You've come too far to be reduced to a supporting role in your own story. When they say, "If you don't do this, you'll hurt me," it's manipulation dressed as guilt. You are not responsible for managing other people's emotions at the cost of your own soul. And if you keep sacrificing your joy to avoid disappointing others, you'll wake up one day, drained and lost, wondering where you went. So here's what you do. Draw the line. This isn't selfishness. It's self-love. Because if you don't protect your peace, no one else will. If you don't choose yourself, no one will hand that choice to you. Your life is not a puppet show where others get to pull the strings. So today, draw the boundary. Say no when you need to. Stop apologizing for being who you are. Stop compromising your happiness to keep others comfortable. You are not here to be molded by opinions. You are here to live boldly, peacefully, fully as you. And if someone asks you to live for them instead of for yourself, remember, that is not love. That is control. And you don't owe anyone that kind of sacrifice. Now is the time to put your foot down, to protect what you've built, to guard your joy, to stand up and say, my peace is not for sale. Now it's your turn. Which of these truths hit home for you? Have you been in this position or seen someone else live it? If this message resonated with you, comment the word intact so I know you're choosing to stay true to yourself. I'd love to hear your story and give you a shout out in the next video. Thank you for watching. Take care and always protect your peace. See you next time.